Gemini, hello, Amanda here. Welcome to the Unseen Hands Collective. This is going to be your February 2021 shift reading. We're looking at the shape you're shifting out of this month, the shape you're shifting into, and what that shape shift looks and feels like. So Gemini, the image that's coming to me for you is someone sitting on the couch, watching a movie, all the lights are dim and dark and they're eating popcorn, and then all of a sudden they're surprised by something, and it sort of felt like someone else maybe like coming around the couch and surprising you. You know, it's like that kind of thing. It wasn't about the movie, you know, it wasn't like a jump scare. It was like something happened in your physical environment that surprised you and just like popcorn went everywhere. It's interesting that that's the image, but the specific effect of it seems to be the element of surprise. Like there's something surprising here, and maybe, you know, this is very relatable here in the quarantine times that we're living in, but maybe it has something to do with like shaking you off your couch, that sort of thing, like shaking you up in a way, because here's what your shapeshift looks like. We're using the Slow Holler Tarot, by the way. You're shifting out of the Five of Stones and into the Ace of Knives, the Ace of Swords. So out of, you know, the Ace of Swords is this like bright new idea. It can be a surprise, actually. It can be a sort of eye-opening revelation, something that sort of hits you and gives you a new viewpoint, gives you a new idea to work with, a new perspective to work with. And it seems like that is very needed, because the Five of Pentacles can be a difficult energy. It can be an energy of, you know, specifically in the times that we're pulling cards here, this free fall imagery on this particular Five of Stones. You know, this card often talks about feeling a lack of resources, feeling maybe a little bit left out in the cold, a little bit isolated. And again, this free fall imagery is really sort of like everything is in transition, and it feels a little like a free fall. You know, it's like there's no solid ground to stand on, and here we are just sort of like free falling through the changes that we are all experiencing at this time. And you know, the shell of the armadillo is a little bit like a brace, a bracing for wherever this time is going to land us. That's interesting, but this Ace of Swords feels really fresh. And let me show you this. This is what your shapeshift looks and feels like for February. The Six of Swords, intersection or justice, and the Nine of Stones, the Nine of Pentacles. So here we see prominently featured Mercury's energy. There's the Mercury glyph is drawn on this hand, and the sword seems to be pointing towards something very specific. And this card talks about movement, which is interesting. I mean, I'll show you what I see in the spread. The sword is pointing towards the Five of Stones. And there also seems to be, like, if I would redraw this shape shift, maybe it would be more like this, from the Five of Pentacles to the Nine, because they seem to be showing me opposite images here. This downward movement, sinking sort of free fall energy of the Five versus this upward climbing, rising energy of the Nine. And Mercury here in the Six of Swords is trying to point that out to you. I think it's trying to get you to move. Maybe that's why this like surprise energy is here, because it's like there's some sort of shakeup or new way of thinking, or you know, like shaking you out of your physical routines in order to get you to think in new ways, to think differently, maybe to get you to move. You know, I've been feeling this movement energy for you for a while, Gemini, and who knows how that's showing up for you. Maybe it's showing up in this like sense that you are ready to relocate, that kind of literal movement. Or maybe it's more about like the way you move your body and how you're moving through your daily routine of your life. You know, especially in quarantine, I think that's something many of us are really looking at and having to sit with, maybe quite literally sit with. I mean, if we took away these lines that are indicating that this armadillo is free falling, then it just sort of looks like they're cradling themselves on their back, just sort of like, okay, when's this going to be over? Really relatable, honestly. But again, the Six of Knives is about movement. So maybe Mercury's trying to get you to think, to shift your mindset in a way that gets you moving, in a way, we have a vehicle here indicating some sort of transition, some sort of movement. And of course, Justice in the middle here, intersection, is calling for balance. There's this lovely energy of a person. It's very Nine of Pentacles, actually. Nine of Pentacles is like feeling on top of yourself, feeling really self-sufficient, like you're able to support yourself. Maybe like that's talking about physical resources, but I often see this also as the body, like feeling really confident in your physical presence and in your own sense of self and sense of independence. And that's translating really beautifully here in the intersection card as well. So rather than like sinking further and further into like this disappearing into the couch that many of us may be experiencing here, there's a little mercurial wake-up call here through Mercury retrograde. Mercury is retrograde from January and through most of February. So it's like and retrogrades are an opportunity to rethink, to see things in a different way, to recognize things that you hadn't previously seen, and I think that's why the Ace of Swords is such a potent player in your shift this month, because Mercury wants you to see something, wants you to see a truth, wants you to see a new perspective, wants you to have some sort of awakening, some sort of eye-opening shift in mindset. And this could even, this could be like a shift in your mindset that brings you into a greater sense of confidence and a sense of like rising up in the self. I've been noticing the way, like, kind of like this armadillo, the way it's so easy in difficult times for my body to start sort of caving in on itself. And so I'm really drawn to the upright, very alive, like the chi is flowing. This person is like feeling their vitality, and that's bringing things into balance from this like sinking downward energy into the upward energy. It's like something needs rebalanced there with the way your energy is flowing. And again, that might be quite physical. That might mean your body, but it could also just mean your life, so it could be the shift in mindset that gets you to move in a different way or carry yourself in a different way. But it could also be aligning with your truth, like swords for me are fundamental truths. The way we think about those truths, the way we hold those truths as part of our worldview and our perspective, and also the way we communicate those truths. And so there could be some sort of realization you're having this month about like what you want, what's right for you. And perhaps that's moving you towards something much more balanced for you. And it looks like these two figures are very much in alignment. They are very much in alignment with their own personal truth and feeling really strong and able to stand in that. I don't know, but something needs to move here, and it starts with the mind, which makes sense, Gemini. Like, that's something you respond to. You're a mercurial being. So if you are going to have a physical move in your life, or if you're going to carry yourself differently, or if there's going to be some sort of like earthly shift, and I say that because of the Pentacles energy, the stones, that earth element, there is some sort of physical shift for you. But it's like, in order to get you to shift physically, Mercury has to be the agent of change. Like, it has to speak to your intellect. It has to speak to your mind and your mental capacity. It's like, if you it's like that's your way in. You know, that's your way in. Which is interesting though, because now I'm being brought back to the image in the beginning and how it was actually something in your physical environment that like shocked you out of the like couch catatonic rhythm, and maybe that like sinking rhythm. It was like something very physical actually shocked you out of it. So I don't know, maybe that's something for you to play with this month. Like, to what degree do I need to change my mind in order to change my external circumstances versus changing my external circumstances and my physical self in order to shift my mindset? Maybe that's just a question that's on the table for you in this Mercury retrograde here in February. Ooh, Gemini, I'm excited to see how this is going to continue to play out. So I'm going to keep pulling cards now. I'm going to use other clarifying decks and oracle decks to see what else we can pull out of this reading for you here in your February shift. If you'd like to view that extended reading, you can head over to unseenhandscollective.com. The link is in the description box, where you can find the extended reading in the shop and also through our monthly membership. Also, as part of the collective, you know, the tarot reading is just 1/3 of your shift. We also have a shift scope, which looks at the astrology, and a personal guidebook to help your sign through whatever this energy is that Gemini is shifting through in February. So go check those out. All right, friends, thanks for being here. Talk to you soon. Whew. Flying through the air, right? It is also another card of movement. So again, I've been getting this movement energy for Gemini for a couple months now. So I'm really maybe talking to someone that's feeling that call to relocate. So it could be that literal for you. It could be showing up as like time to move, Gemini. You know this. It's time to move. But maybe, again, maybe that's showing up more physically. Like maybe it's more immediate. Like, okay, fine, you're within these four walls. Yeah. Absolutely, we all are to a certain degree. So it's like, how are you moving within that? You know, even if your space does feel limited, how are you moving? This ace is calling you into movement. Pages are messengers. So again, Mercury has a message for you big time, and it wants you to move.
Upended your how you access your twin. It kind of like brought the twin out. All right, now the twin's staring at you. Okay, the other within you is staring at you, staring you in the face. Now, okay, while we're in this midair flight, so really what happened for you in January is that your other twin that's been buried in your soul sector, that kind of only comes out when you need them, is now with you.